Right now, one of the icons of the fashion world, Dame Vivienne Westwood, has died at age 81.
The punk pioneer and activist was surrounded by family and friends as she passed away at her home in Clapham in South London on Thursday.
Well, joining us to discuss this sad news in showbiz is our journalist Stephanie Takyi. I've got that wrong, haven't I?
Oh, no, you got it right.
Did I get it wrong?
Yeah,
Takyi.
It's
not tacky. Sorry,
No,
so I didn't say tacky. Now, the world of fashion is obviously in mourning. Vivienne Westwood, I loved her.
Oh, my gosh, what an icon. It actually feels like we've lost the grandmother of the style nation, you know.
Less of the grandmother, she wouldn't
Definitely,
like that.
the queen of punk, the grand dame of fashion. And, you know, it's one of those things, there will be never be another one like Vivienne Westwood. She was very much a rebel with a cause when she burst into the fashion scenes in the 1970s, ushering the punk movement, ushering styles we haven't seen in fashion before. We're talking about the plaid, the androgynous designs, making it okay for women to look a bit more manly, the pins. And then when she opened that boutique on Chelsea, I don't know if I can say the word sex this early in the morning, but the sex boutique, which she ran with Malcolm McLaren, who was the manager of the Sex Pistols. Again, she was always making her imprint in the fashion scene from then. And she's gone on to dress worldwide celebrities, politicians, sports stars, which we can see from the outpouring of tributes that we've received so far.
Yeah, now I'm a big fan of Westwood and that early punk aesthetic. I've actually got a few original pieces.
Amazing. Hold on to those, Martin.
So the T-shirts from Seditionaries, that was the label then. That was stuff that Johnny Rotten had on, and that Sid Vicious had on. Those T-shirts, they were going for about 500 quid each.
Wow.
They've become basically, you know, historical mementos of a moment in time that influenced fashion and music in a continual cycle. I mean, the punk look just keeps coming and going all the time. Her legacy just lives on.
Definitely, and people are saying, you know, she was the last true punk of Britain in that sense. And it's something she's kept up all right until her dying day. Also, you know, it's one of those things where she was always passionate about activism, and it's something which she continued to the end. She's had many memorable moments, like she was quite supportive of Julian Assange, freeing the WikiLeaks founder. She's always been quite open about climate change. Animal rights. She once even drove like a white truck near David Cameron's house just to kind of talk about fracking. But more than anything, it's if you went to a catwalk show where Vivienne Westwood was doing a show, you know, it was going to be one that was going to be memorable and mixed with political messaging. And she's had very good moments, like such as Naomi Campbell coming down the catwalk in 9-inch heels, which she fell over. Yes, she did. There's that iconic picture. She once sent Naomi down the catwalk as well, wearing a traffic cone. So she's definitely going to be one of those pioneers in fashion and a visionary. And there's been lots of tributes that have come out for Dame Vivienne Westwood. Marc Jacobs says he was heartbroken and that she never failed to surprise and to shock. Also, Victoria Beckham, who's also now a designer, says, "I'm so sad to learn of the passing of the legendary designer and activist Dame Vivienne Westwood." And Boy George says he met her in the early 80s and said she was great and inspiring, and without question she is the undisputed queen of British fashion.
It's hard to remember now just how confrontational her stuff was. Back in the 70s, you know, they had like swastikas to subvert, you know, that post-war era. They were truly rebellious. They were dangerous. They were out. The Sex Pistols were outlawed in Wales. Wherever they went, there was controversy. But that spirit came from the clothes that they wore, and that was Westwood and McLaren.
Punk was a way of life for Dame Vivienne Westwood. It was about the fashion. The fashion was how she could express that to the masses. And, you know, she was very anti-establishment. And during the 1970s, it was at the height of it. And for her, she was one of those pioneering people that made fashion be free and expressive. You didn't have to conform to anything. And she was a true visionary.
She was. She was just a real outlier there. She was definitely a character. I mean, have you ever met her?
Yes, I've interviewed her many times. I interviewed her last year, actually, at a film screening. Again, it was all about her activism. If you had 5 minutes with Dame Vivienne Westwood, she would be telling you, become more friendly towards the climate, wake up and see what surrounds with you, and be vocal about politics. Don't be quiet. You know, I think a lot of people just think fashion people are just kind of just all about style, but she mixed fashion, politics and music quite well.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's amazing that real-life relationship that she had with Malcolm McLaren and you know, all of the punks
Yeah.
They were seen as like dangerous, rebellious.
Yeah.
But they treated her like their mum. And she ruled the roost.
She did. And, you know, she was working right till the end, as her husband, Andrea Confola, has said that he says that he will be continuing her work. And, you know, she left her so many things to do. So it's not going to be the end of Vivienne Westwood's legacy. And next year they'll be launching a foundation, the Vivienne Westwood Foundation, which will be keeping up her activism.
Great.
Well,
Superb.
her spirit will go on and her foundation. Wonderful.